So, good morning and welcome back to Daily Transfer Update. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I feel a lot better today than I did yesterday, that's for sure. My head was pounding. I had a mad migraine. So apologies for no FIFA stream yesterday. That will be back to normal today around 12:30. We're going to go with the worst team on FIFA. That's going to drive me mad. Maybe I'll have another migraine after today. But don't forget also, 10:30 today, I will be doing my Premier League transfer update as well. That'll be returning as normal. So apologies for everybody who wanted to watch that yesterday. I didn't do it, and I didn't play FIFA either. So yeah, I've had a lot of sleep. It's been nice, and yeah, I'm back again, ready to go, and I'm ready to go in on this absolute clown of a geezer. People know from watching this channel for a long time my thoughts on Mesut Ozil, the footballer. People know that I can't stand him. People know that I think he's overrated. I'll rip apart anyone's argument to try and prove that he's been great for Arsenal. They try throwing pie charts at you, XG stats, assist stats from way before he was at Arsenal, assist stats whilst he's at Arsenal. At the end of the day, I have two eyes in my head, and the geezer is the most overrated, overhyped footballer I've ever seen in my near 38 years on this planet. Absolutely sick to death of this geezer being at the club. The day he leaves is going to be a bigger day than the day Wenger left. At least Wenger was good when he arrived. This geezer has just done nothing other than fleece this football club. And do you know what? There was an article that I read a few years back. Can't remember who the journalist was now. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments. And he said Mesut Ozil is nicking a living. Well, he is nicking a living because he's posing as a footballer. Now he is reportedly, and this report has come from John Cross. Now John Cross, aka Smithers, used to do a lot of Arsenal-related stuff when Wenger was at the club and when Dick Law and Gazidis were at the club. So I'm under the illusion that one of his little moles at the club that was giving him snippets of information was one of them three I've just named. Since they've left, he hasn't been out there as much as he was in terms of Arsenal-related content and stories. But this has come from John Cross. I'm not saying that everything he says is true, but I do believe this story. And it's not because I can't stand Ozil. It's because of the stuff his agent came out with last week or the week before. I'm going to go through it all anyway. But apparently Mesut Ozil is one of 3 Arsenal players that has rejected a pay cut. I'm disgusted by this, if I'm being completely honest. I've seen a lot of people getting on my case the other week saying, oh, yeah, but, you know, the owner should pay it. The owner should do this. The owner should do that. Well, listen, the hierarchy at Arsenal Football Club, it took 33% pay cut or 30% pay cut, whatever. Stan Kroenke, it's come out that he's going to invest money into the club. And now the players need to do their bit. At the end of the day, the players are the highest paid employees at the football club. So why shouldn't they? You know, if Mesut Ozil took a 10% pay cut, that is still 10 times more than Bukayo Saka gets paid, you know. And I know Ozil's way down the line in terms of where Bukayo Saka is in his career, but if he had a 10% pay cut, that's 35 grand a week. Bukayo Saka's on 3 grand a week. Yeah, this guy for me is an absolute disgrace, right? And I don't know who the other 2 are. That hasn't been named. Before people ask me who the other 2 are, I don't know. But the one thing I will say here, right, is a lot of people I've seen online since this story broke last night been going, oh, but Ozil does loads of charity work. Yeah, of course he does. It's a tax write-off. Any charity work you do and donations to charity get written off against your tax bill. In the process, it means you're a nice guy and that you're doing nice stuff as well, which is fantastic. Cool, great. But don't be under the illusion that they're doing it because they want to do it. A lot of them are doing it for tax reasons. I'm not suggesting Mesut Ozil is, but it is a tax write-off, and that is a fact. So yes, whilst he does amazing work with charity and great, fantastic, fair play to him, 10 out of 10, why can't you take a pay cut for the good of this football club? The football club that you've fleeced over £100 million in wages in the last 7 years. whilst pretending to be a footballer. I'm absolutely sick of this geezer. I'm going to read out what's been said anyway, so you can stare at his ugly mug while I read it out. Mesut Ozil has refused to join Arsenal players in taking a 12.5% pay cut. It then goes on about he's the highest paid player at the club. It's understood that Ozil is one of 3 players in the first team not to accept a pay cut. Ozil made it clear he respects the other players and the group decision, but urged them to respect his. His agent, Dr. Erkut Sogat, declined to comment, but recently said that players should not accept pay cuts. He said earlier this month deferral is an option, but do not agree to a cut today when the club may still make the same profit as last year, which is very telling in him being an agent. Obviously, they want to make as much money as they can. He continued on, and this is something that I spoke about at the time. What the extent, the exact financial impacts is on the club, we can see in 3 to 6 months later, but we can't see today. The Professional Footballers Association has also insisted Premier League clubs should only ask for deferrals. Arsenal were contacted and declined to comment. We are the first club, Arsenal, to agree cuts with the players after 10 days of intensive talks, which initially saw the whole squad refuse to take a reduction in wage. They'll now take a 12.5% reduction for 12 months until March next year. However, Arsenal will repay the money in full if they qualify for Champions League either this season or next season, and the players will also get £100,000 bonus for doing so. Any player who is sold for profit will have all of their money refunded. They will get 7.5% back if they reach the Europa League and get into the group stage of Europa League, but nothing if they do not get into Europe. Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta was key in the negotiations. We know that. And he did a video conference call last Wednesday helping to convince the squad the club need financial help. Arteta himself has agreed to a cut, and the club's 14-strong executive committee have also agreed to take 30% pay cuts. Arsenal issued a statement which read, "We are pleased to announce that we have reached a voluntary agreement with our first team players, head coach and core coaching staff to help the club at this critical time. The move follows constructive discussions. In these conversations, there's been a clear appreciation of the gravity of the current situation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and the strong desire for players and staff to show their backing for the Arsenal family. Reduction of annual earnings by 12.5% will come into effect this month, with the contractual paperwork being completed in the coming days. If we meet specific targets in the seasons ahead, primarily linked to success on the pitch, the club will repay agreed amounts. We will be able to link those repayments as hitting these targets, which the players can directly influence, and will mean our financial position is stronger. This agreement is based upon the assumption that we finished the 1920 season with full broadcasting revenues. The resulting savings will help cover some of the financial risks we have this season in relation to our match day and commercial income. We're proud and grateful to our playing staff and staff pulling together to support the club, our people and our community in these unprecedented times, which are some of the most challenging we've faced in our history." Now, it then goes on to another interview on Steelcast podcast that Ozil's agent did, and it said it is not enough for the club to present a proposal to one member of the first team squad and then ask them to go to the rest of the squad to get their consent to do it. That is not how individual contract negotiations should take place. A club may ask a first team manager to negotiate with the players, and this may influence some, particularly younger players or those on the fringe who fear they might be personal repercussions for them if they do not agree. In those circumstances, it could be questionable that any consent from the players would be legally binding anyway, as some players are not in a position to give true consent if they are under pressure to do so. Now, there you go. Listen, I think we all know now, we'll take him away. I think we all know now the level of player we're dealing with right now. There's a lot of people out here that support this bloke. There's a lot of people out here that support this bloke over the football club. We're the classy football club. the classy football club with the classy players, all the superstar players. The biggest superstar at the football club, the one with the most money, the one that gets paid the most money, the one with the biggest adoring fan base that follow him everywhere, doesn't want to take a pay cut, doesn't want to help the club out, doesn't want to see the long-term success of this football club, and all he's doing is thinking of his own pocket and thinking of himself. Now, I can understand with the bonuses and stuff for Champions League, I can kind of understand that he ain't going to be here by the end of next season. So he's got a season to try and get us in the Champions League, because this season we ain't going to do it, even if we resume the season. So he's got a season to do it. So I can kind of understand that he's going, boy, we ain't getting Champions League. Well, maybe, mate, maybe, just maybe, you should step your game up and start playing, which he won't, because he don't care about football. It's quite clear he hasn't given a toss about this football club for a long, long time. Yeah, and the fact that he is on the most money at this football club makes me sick to my stomach every time I hear it and see it and see him. Yeah, I cannot stand the geezer. The quicker he is out of this football club, the quicker this football club moves on. And do you know what? Hopefully it moves on for the better, because he ain't helping towards our future right now. Other players in that squad that are getting paid a fraction of what he is paying have sat there and gone, yep, we'll take a pay cut. It's all about the football club that you have eaten well from for a long, long time, some of these players. You know, his agent, well, listen, the less said about him, the better. But you can see exactly what we're dealing with now. And everything I have said about this geezer over the last 4 years or 3.5 years or whatever it is, about he couldn't care less about football. He's only interested in the money. He don't want anything else. His PR game this, his PR game that. Do you know what? He's going to have gone down in a lot of people's estimation. So they've completely nosed up the PR game this time, haven't they? And I'd love to know your thoughts on it. I could sit and talk about this for hours, and I'm not going to, because I'm too busy. But I'm sick of this geezer. And the quicker he leaves this club, the better. If players that are on less money than him can sit there and say, yes, we'll take a pay cut. If the hierarchy at this football club can take 30% pay cut, why can't he do an incentivized deferral? Why can't he do that? You know, at the end of the day, I've never sung his song at a game anyway. I never will, because I don't like him. And yeah, maybe some of you out there that have worshipped this guy and the ground he's walked on and all the rest of it and made him out to be the greatest footballer ever to have graced a football pitch, maybe now you're starting to see the type of person he is. But anyway, leave it in the comment section down below. Let me know your thoughts on Mesut Ozil refusing to take a deferral, a wage cut, whatever you want to call it, for the greater good of this football club. Absolutely disgusting. Anyway, I'll be back at 10:30. Hopefully I'll be a bit happier by then. Well, I will be, because I won't be talking about him. So yeah, all have a wonderful Tuesday, and I will leave you all in peace. Laters, peeps.